It's 6 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting of the Board of Adjustments to order. It's the 4th day of October, and we're in the Navasota City Hall City Council Chambers at 200 East McAlpine Street. Is there anyone that wanted to speak on something that's not on the agenda? Is it about the agenda item?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can do, and we'll have time for that in just a second when we call the public hearing. Okay. Agenda item number 3, conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving public comments and testimony regarding a zoning variance request submitted to the City of Navasota by Gennaro Jr. and Kendra K. Romero for the property located along 514 Victoria Street in Navasota, Grimes County, Texas, 77868. Parcel ID R23861. The variance request to allow for the construction of a patio addition encroaching within the 25-foot front setback requirements as prescribed in Article 5, R-1A, high-density single dwelling, 7,000 square foot lot residential district. The property affected is legally described as Felder, Block 18, Lot 8, 9, 10, S-2, and we'll start the public hearing at 6:01. Alan, did you have any background to share?
Okay. Yes, it's the request for a patio to be. It was added on to an existing patio, so now it is in 20 feet inside of the 25-foot setback. So that puts it 5 feet from the front property line. That makes it 17 feet from the edge of the road, back from the curve of the road. And it is a 60-foot right-of-way. The construction was done before permits were pulled or anything, but the permits have been pulled now, and the variance being requested this evening.
Okay. I know that Lupe said that like 77 letters were sent out to the residents within 500 feet. Did y'all get any response?
No, there was no response from that. There was just one call that came in that I believe Luque had taken, which brought this to our attention.
Okay. Are Mr. and Ms. Romero here?
I'm Mrs. Romero.
Okay. Would you like to come to the podium and give your name and address and then tell us about your property and how you came to constructing it, I guess, before the permit was issued?
So it's Kendra Romero at 514 Victoria Avenue. We built the front porch on, so it's not a patio, it's a porch. I didn't realize, I thought it didn't need a permit because we didn't actually dig into the ground. So that's the only reason I did not get a permit, because that's what I was told a long time ago when I built the original porch. So when that was explained to me that even though I didn't dig, we had to get it, so that's why we came and got the permit. And then that's when we were told about the variance, so I had to put in for the variance. The main reason for the porch is mainly for the safety of my children, because that street is, I guess, a main to get to 3090, and I have called so many times for patrolmen. I mean, they pass that stop sign doing 60 miles an hour at times.
Yep.
And it's on record, I've called more than a dozen times and nothing gets done. So I can't even let my kids play out in the front yard or anything. So we built it, for us and when we have family over, for the kids to be able to have somewhere to play where we're able to watch them while we're entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a question about the posts. There are some posts sticking up. Did y'all have plans to put a roof on that?
No, ma'am. we're gonna leave it like that. We're just gonna put hooks for if we ever wanna put just like a temporary shade while we're out there, we can take it on and off. Just while we're out there.
Does anybody else have any questions for Ms. Romero? Anybody in the audience want to make a comment? Okay. Please come to the podium and identify yourself. Ms. Romero, you can sit down.
My name is Ed Cravey, and I live at 507 Victoria, directly across the street from Ms. Romero. And the fear factor is why I'm in support of her, because the folks coming from 3090 stop at Stacy for the stop sign. They run the one at Sycamore, which is the one we're talking about. They stop at the one on the next one down between that and Washington. And the average speed's about 50 miles an hour. And I have been trying, I've lived there 15 years. It's my daughter's house. And I've rented it for 15 years. And I have spoken to everybody that I can speak to. And the police run the stop sign, the people that work for the city will run the stop sign, the people that work for the schools, the bump, thump, and jump people run the stop sign, and it is a dangerous place. And when I spoke to Ms. Romero, that was the reason that she really wanted to have the construction. They've been great neighbors. They're very mindful of sound, and I mean, when they have their parties, and been great people to be neighbors to. So I am just in support of her, and I'm what got me most was the stop sign. But because I'm retired now, I sit on the porch and I've counted 50 in 1 hour and a half, 2 hours. So that's what I have to say.
Anybody else have any comments? Betsy?
I just have a comment. I'm Betsy Leonard. I live on McNair Street. That once again, we're here with after the fact asking for forgiveness. And for them, perhaps she didn't know, but why was it built and built and built and nobody ever stopped to question, do you have a permit? We can't have a garage sale without a permit showing. And here, this is the third house now in our neighborhood where they've built and encroached and then asked for forgiveness. And I've put it on the city. They are not policing properly, and they're not, controlling these houses that are encroaching on what are supposed to be the law. And, why have a law if you're not going to enforce it? I don't live on Victoria. I can understand the problem with traffic, but they do have a backyard. Our kids always played in a fenced backyard. So I don't have a lot of, sympathy because it does encroach on the street considerably. They have a swing right out by the street, and it just seems like there could be another alternative for them to do, maybe push the porch back and, make a backyard. I don't know, but really, I put it on the city. They're not enforcing the laws we have. I appreciate y'all having this, and I know you can't do a whole lot about that, but this is kind of a structure that's not like a flower bed that's real beautifying to the neighborhood. It's a lot of flower beds are out by the street, but this is really a one-house structure thing. Thank you all.
Thank you. Now, the original porch was already encroaching too, correct?
Yes, I believe the original porch was 8 feet within the setback. I don't know when that was built. That was years and years ago, probably before I was here in Navasota.
Yeah, before the zoning was,
Okay, very good. Yeah, so with the addition of 12 feet, it puts it at that 20 feet into the setback.
Ms. Romero, would you come back up a minute? I want to make sure, you added the porch that you added on to, you added that porch, and that was, okay. And you were
And-
told then you didn't have to have a permit?
No. When I called and asked about that, they said I didn't need a permit for that one.
How long ago was that one built?
More than 12 years ago, maybe. It's been a while. And again, we were told then that, as long as we didn't dig, we didn't need any permits. Nothing about zoning was said then, so that's why I was not aware of it for this one. And, because we didn't dig it once again, I just assumed, I guess, wrong for me for assuming, but that I didn't need a permit. But whenever they called and said, okay, let me make the right steps and do what I need to do.
Someone at the city told you you didn't have to have a permit that 12 years ago or whatever?
As long as I did not dig.
Okay.
So we didn't dig. Everything is actually on top of the ground. And so they also, back then, I guess, like you said, there was no zoning problem, so I didn't have to ask for a variance.
Well,
back then.
okay. That's why I was trying to figure out when you put the porch on. Because I know a lot of those houses over there,
In fact, I don't even think the house is 25 feet from
Yeah.
the line, so. If it is, it's like right at it, I would assume.
You don't have a good drawing of that.
no. Well, I guess if there are no more comments, we'll close the public hearing at 6:20. Does anyone have a motion?
So anyone put a motion forth to approve or deny?
I make a motion that we table this until we can get a confirmed opinion from the city, because it looks like these poles are in concrete on the lower left, the second picture, the picture on the bottom. It looks like they're encased in concrete.
They're on concrete pads. Yeah.
Yeah, there's concrete, stones, probably 4-inch by 12. I mean, construction-wise, either way, it's fine. But I understand the point, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, we have a quorum, but in this particular instance, if there were a motion to approve and there was one negative vote, then the motion wouldn't pass.
Okay.
And if we don't have a motion, then it doesn't pass.
Okay,
And then we would, I guess, have to have a conversation with Lupe.
yes, ma'am. So there's no motion to proceed?
Well, Okay, in the absence of a motion, then the request is not approved.
All right.
Agenda item number 5, consideration and possible action on approval of the September 6, 2023 meeting minutes as presented. I move to approve the minutes. And we have a second from Ms. Conlon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none, motion carries. And item number 6 is to adjourn.